Hello everyone, this is Plastique, and today we're just not doing any makeup. We're doing that girl makeup. Now, who is this girl? That girl is someone when she walks into a room, everyone kind of just stop because she is that girl. This makeup is very sultry, very sexy, and it's gonna get a lot of stares. First thing first, I'm going to clean off my brows using 99% alcohol just to get whatever oil is off on my brows, so when we cover them, it does not pop. Next, I'm going in with the Elmer's washable disappearing purple glue stick. I'm going to cover my brows. You've seen me do this before. So first step, I'm just going in back and forth just to get a lot of product in there. I'm going to be using my eyelash comb to comb it up like so into one direction, and then I'm going to use my fingers to smooth that first layer over and then blow dry on cool. I also glued on my hairline as well, just so then when we lay on the wig, it is nice and flat and we don't see any of our real hair underneath. For this, I just kind of go in like a down motion because that's how the hair on the sides kind of grows. And here I just kind of go back like this. Gluing your hairline down actually kind of helps too, because if you tape your head, the tape is not latching on to your hairline, so this will really help to protect that hairline, keep it remain intact. Final layer on the eyebrows. The trick I like to do sometimes too is if you feel like your glue is not going on a lot, I rub it against a napkin or a towel, something, just to get it rough, and then that's gonna deposit way more glue onto your eyebrows. Just a trick I've learned over the years. One other tip is as you're drying, kind of use the palm of your hand to press down on your eyebrows. This will make the brow cover way more seamless, like this. Now I'm setting everything using the Laura Mercier translucent powder. This is the jumbo size because I use so much of it. And then just taking it on a powder puff and really pressing it down on the eyebrows. Next is color correction. I'm going to use the Natasha Denona High Glam Correcting Concealer in C4. Love this one. She is such a good texture and I literally put it everywhere, all over my chin. This will help counteract any blue or green that is peeking out underneath our foundation. Tapping that in with my little Real Techniques brush. I believe this is the setting brush actually, but I love it for blending concealers. I love these brushes too because they are synthetic and they last forever. Foundation, I love using the Kryolan TV Paint Stick. First shade is in 8W and I use that to cover the hairline around the perimeter of the face. This shade matches my skin the most, so I like to work it all around the perimeter. Then I go into the shade NB1. This is for the brows and the center of my face. And this foundation literally covers anything. It's my favorite drag full coverage foundation. And it comes in a stick form, which is really good for depositing a lot of product onto the skin. And then I'm putting it all over the beard cover area. The last shade is B20 and I use the tiniest bit of this just to contour underneath the cheek and on the side of the face. I love to use a liquid foundation over my creams just so then it fills in the gaps a lot more, makes your face super flawless. The foundation I'm using today is the House Lab Triclone Foundation in shade 300. Love this stuff. So good. It is so light in texture, yet super high coverage, and it looks like skin, which is really crazy too. And I just put that wherever there was no foundation, and I started blending out the light area first, starting around the mouth and then going onto the nose and then up to the forehead and brow cover. Then last, I go into the contour like so on the side of the face. Make sure you go right here at the jaw into the neck as well. We do not want to be two colors. Next is concealers, and I am obsessed with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch Concealer. This is in shade number 1, and I put it right here underneath the eyes. We're gonna draw a little, not so little, a very big triangle like so. So, love this concealer because it has a doe foot applicator. So it delivers a lot of product onto the skin. The next shade is number 4, and I like using this for highlighting the rest of the face. So under the lip, right at the chin, around the mouth, we're gonna go around the shade number 1 that we just put down. And this will make our blending process so much easier. I need to get more actually, start to run out. And then a little bit on the forehead as well. Going up back in with our beauty blender, I'm gonna blend out the chin first, and then go into the sides of the mouth, onto the forehead, upper lip, onto the sides of the nose, and then we're gonna take the concealer all over our eyelids and across the forehead and then down the nose. You notice how I left the under eyes for last? Because the longer you leave the under eyes, the more coverage you're gonna get. And we want the under eyes to be as bright and concealed as possible. For blending out the under eyes, I like to blend out the edges first. This way, you're taking out like 50% of the work already. So blending out the edges will ensure that the product stays where we want it to stay. Now we're just diffusing the lines. Now you can go into right underneath the eyes and then just tap, 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 and boom. Now we're going back in with our Laura Mercier powder and then loading up that puff and going right underneath the eyes, on top of the lip, at the smile lines right here, and then right at the brows. And I used so much powder, it is actually very, very alarming because I run through this huge tub like every 2 weeks. And this powder is not cheap, you guys. For the love of drag, we must endure. A very, very comparable powder to this is actually the Coty Airspun Translucent Extra Coverage. That powder I used, I think, for about 3 years into my drag career, and then I found out about this Laura Mercier powder. Don't forget to set the neck as well. We do not want to have that rub off on anything we wear. Then I'm gonna take a tiny bit more powder and put it right underneath the eye here. This will help catch all the fallout from our eyeshadows because nothing is worse than having fallout on your face after you do eyeshadows and then it's stuck there and you can't do anything about it. So this step will help ensure that those fallout will be swept away. I actually depotted this palette called the Natasha Denona Biba palette, and I put it in here because it's easier for travel. Kind of like an exact dupe for it is the Juvia's Place, the coffee shop palette, and it has all these beautiful shades, super nice textures as well. I like to go in first with the Morphe M433, and I dip it into kind of like a mid-tone brown color. So like either one of these, and I kind of use this shade as my starting shade, and I'm gonna establish where I want kind of my crease to be. So for me, it is slightly above my natural crease right here. And then I like to create a V with it. I'm not blending anything yet. I'm just getting the color in there, just so then we know what shade we're going for. I used to do my eyeshadows the other way around, where I would go really light first and then going in with the dark. But I find that this method saves me so much more time. Now that we look like a raccoon, I like to go in with the Morphe M441 brush. It's a slightly bigger, fluffier brush. I go in with the light brown shadow. So this shade, or I have like another light brown shadow here. I'll probably dip them both, just to give a little mixture. And then going at the edges of the eyeshadows, and that's where I start to blend it out. Since this shade is slightly lighter, it's gonna blend out the edges seamlessly. I always say it is better to go bigger with your eyeshadows first, because then you can always correct it with concealer after, rather than going smaller with it and then having to build up from it. And I think the more blown out your eyeshadow is, the sexier your makeup will be. Ta-da! Next, I like to go in with the Morphe 456. It is a smaller kind of taper eyeshadow brush like this, and I go into the darkest shade like her right here. I like to create a V with this shadow at the outer corner of my eye. And again, we don't have to blend yet. We're just placing the color there. So right here, V in the outer corner. We're going back in to the M433 with no shadows on it. We're gonna blend out the edges of that. And that is how I get a very nice smoky eye for the top. And now we're gonna do the same thing that we did to the bottom lash line. Oh, before we do that, actually, I'm going to do my eyeliner first. This eyeliner is my favorite eyeliner in the world. It is Costa Riche from MAC. For this makeup, I'm going to go all over the lower lash line. We're gonna go in because today is a smoky eye day. And this makeup, I did it all the time on tour because it would literally take me, I think I got it down to like 30 minutes sometimes when I need to rush. Then I'm going in with the Morphe M508. This is like a dense, flat shading brush. And then I'm gonna go into the same order that we did the top eyeshadow. So the mid brown color right here, we're just gonna lay down that color right near where we put the eyeliner. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills A14. And then going back into the light brown shade that we use. On the top, we're gonna blend out that mid-tone shade that we put at the bottom. Going back in with the 508, we're dipping into the darkest color we use, and then just going at the outer third of the bottom lash line, like so. And then we're gonna connect it to the top eyeshadows like this. So then everything makes sense. We're going into sparkles. This is the Artist Couture Diamond Likes Finisher in Spotlight Glit. I also have this in Golden Hour, which is a beautiful bronze shade. I like to take this on my finger and just dab it right here in the middle. And the beautiful thing about this pigment is that it is so reflective, and once it's on the eye, it just kind of blends everything together. I think I've had this pot for, I don't know, like 2 years now. It is so much product and it lasts me forever, so love her. Today, I think we're gonna do a slight wing. So, very, very exciting. First off, we're gonna do a brown eyeliner first. You've seen me do this trick before. This is the Stila Dual Ended Waterproof Eyeliner in dark brown. The good thing is it has a tiny little tip and a bigger tip. Starting very thin and then going out thicker on the outer corner. But we do not create any sort of wing shape yet. We're kind of just stopping at the edge. Because when you have hooded eyes, sometimes doing this is different from doing this. Because you might do so much work here and then you look forward and then all that work is gone. Now, going back in to M456 brush that we use to place down the dark brown shadow. I like to dip it in again and then just tap it here at the outer corner. This is the black eyeliner, which has the tiny, tiny tip. See? And just go following the bottom lash line. Literally draw the tiniest wing ever, like that. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this eye. Following the bottom lash line, just go up and create the tiniest wing ever, like so. This is the Makeup Forever 208. Or another option is the Morphe M709. I used it to dip it in a black eyeshadow shade. And then I'm just going in at the edges of where we put that eyeliner, following that wing. Then I go back in with the M456 and then I just go up the edge of that eyeliner. And then that creates like this really yanked yet very soft and defined wing. And this technique will really work on all eye shapes as well. So you see how that is more defined than this. Repeating that step, going in with that black eyeshadow and kind of just blending out the edge of that black eyeliner. And then going back in with the eyeshadow brush and blending out the edges. And then boom, yanked. All right, now we're going on into eyebrows. And I like to use the Anastasia Brow Pro palette. This has pretty much every single shade of brows there is. And I stole this from Set because I love it so much. And I like to use the Sigma eye shading E55 brush. I like to press in the brow cover so then nothing moves underneath, because you just spend so much time covering your eyebrows. You do not want anything to move. Then dipping into the shade Ebony, I'm going to the lighter shade right here. My one tip for drawing on eyebrows is to basically just look at your face first and then just establish what height you want your eyebrows to be. Today it is right around here. And then after that, you can kind of go into the other side as well and kind of level it. I don't draw on the tail yet until I get kind of both my eyebrows to be in the same plane first. I go into the darker side of Ebony with my brush, and then I kind of draw on where I want the tail to be. And for this step, you don't need to be too careful either, because after this, we're gonna go back in with concealer and really carve it out. So you can just really play with what shape you want first, and then we can perfect it with concealer after. So today, that's kind of like the journey I'm going for. Around there, I think that's good. I don't want to go too crazy today. Today we're trying to be a woman. Just a girl, just an ABG, going to get some boba. And for me, one brow is always end up higher than the other. So this step, I'm just kind of like gauging where they're at. And now we can go in and correct everything. And I'm using the Krylon TV Paint Stick in NB1 and a concealer brush from Anastasia number 18. After we have that nice and corrected, I'm going in with an angle eyeshadow brush and then going back in with the Ebony darker shade. Mixed a little bit with Granite too, just because we're wearing black hair today. I like to go at the base of the eyebrow and then at the tail to kind of define it. And I even use the lace front eyebrows as well. But I find that now drawing on my eyebrows, I can do that so much faster rather than using the lace front eyebrows, because for the lace front eyebrows, once you have that glued on, it's not moving. You kind of just have to work your way around it. But this, if I mess up, I can always, you know, cover it with concealer and then start over. Now, moving on to the face. And I'm using this big NYX brush to kind of sweep all that powder away. The Morphe R7. It is my favorite brush. It kind of blends the product as you're putting it down too, which is really cool. These are the MAC Studio Fix Powder Foundation. This one is in NC35. And I take it on my brush and I just go right here, continue it on to the side of the face like this. This shade is basically my skin color. So this will really help put back in the color and add some coverage to the face as well. Then I like to go in with the Sigma Soft Blend 50 and dipping into NC15. And then I'm going kind of right in between the brow bone. I have a heavier brow bone, so like a very protruding brow bone. So I like to put the highlight here just so then it kind of feminizes my face a lot more. And then some on the chin as well, carrying it to the side of the mouth. And then final powder foundation. This is the Stage White from One Size, and I love this. I used it with the Makeup by Mario EF1. It's like a dual-sided eyeshadow brush. I dip it in using the flat side and I go right here at the tear trough area. This is my trick to take your makeup from like regular and turning her into like doll, you know? And that just lifts up the face so much. I also take it on the side of the flat brush like so, and I go right at the center of my nose. And this will add back in like a little highlight on the nose. I find that this is much easier than contouring with creams because, I mean, I can just erase it if I need to. And if I really want to contour my nose, I just use like the bigger side and dipping it back into the NC35. And then I go under and then on the sides like that. And that's it. Bronzer is the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush bronzer in the shade number 3. Love her. She is just the perfect amount of warmth and the perfect amount of cool. And I go right here, and I don't go past like where the eye is. And then sometimes I carry it down to the jaw like so, because I want my face to be very heart shape. Now onto blush, literally my favorite step. I'm going in with my Kimchi X Plastique face palette, using the bright pink shade right here, using it on my brush, and then going, do you see how pigmented that is? That is so, like, I really fell back in love with this blush, because a lot of blushes out there, they're light but they're not pigmented, but this one is light and it's pigmented. So basically it just brightens your face back up. It's so pretty. And I was like, wow, it's like that perfect pinky color. That's gonna be amazing for the mid-tone blush shade. And I highly recommend using 2 blushes, just so then we have a very nice blend. And then I go into the Patrick Ta She's a Doll. I only use the powder side, but this is like a super hot pink blush that's just so dolly. And this is Sigma number 60. And I smile and I go ding 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 right here, and that just makes the cheeks so pretty. My favorite highlighter is the House Lab highlighter in Rose Quartz. It has like a pinky and silver reflex rather than gold, so it makes it look like you're being lit from within and your cheeks are just glowing. This is a gel to powder formulation, so it's also a great first highlighter step. And if you really want to blind the girls, I go back in with my Kimchi palette and dipping it to the highlighter shade right here, and I just pinpoint right at the highest point of my cheek, and that is a nice Neapolitan ice cream. This is the Eyeshadow eyelash curler. I haven't done that in so long because I was getting my eyelash permed, and now it has faded away, so now I have to recurl my lashes. For mascara, I like to use the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black. This is the waterproof version, and I've been using this forever. Since I started like doing makeup at my house in high school, I've been using this and it's never failed me. And I use it for the bottom lash line as well. This is the prettiest glitter ever. It is the Urban Decay Moon Dust Glitter in the shade Midnight Cowboy. I remember hearing this from watching Miss Fame back in the day. She would always use Midnight Cowboy, and I always thought, wow, that is the prettiest color I've ever used. And I like to use it right here at the center of the eye. Makeup Forever. This is my secret weapon. This is the Starlit Powder in 2F01. It's like this blinding pigment that I like to use my finger, and I just put it at my inner corner like this, and literally it will just light up your face. Pretty crazy. And whenever I'm doing makeup on myself, someone else, I always like to highlight the inner corner because this really opens up the eyes and give you that really like Victoria's Secret 2009 fantasy. Let's do lips. I like to use the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat. This is Down to the Nub, but I think this is Iconic Nude, and the other shade is Foxy Brown. I love these lip liners because of the colors. And for lip liners, I like to line my lips first and then overline just at the center. The doors Kylie Jenner has opened for us girlies. Afterwards, I like to go in with this Foxy Brown and just define the outer corners like so, just to give the lip some dimension. This way, we're basically contouring the lip. For lipstick, I like to use the Hourglass, the Phantom Lip Gloss and Lipstick in the shade Sense 110. Love the color of this, and I love the shine that it gives. I am so picky about my nude lipstick, and this shade is just so gorgeous. Alright, let's put on some lashes and contact. I usually wear the O lens, but today we're going a little lighter. So I like to use the Desio contact, the shade Delicious Honey. Love, love, love this contact. I've always worn this color when I really want to be like very plastique. There she is. For lashes, do not hate me, but I've always used this lash called Wild Child from Velour, but I believe it is discontinued. But that's why I always put my lashes on off camera, but everyone's like, what lashes do you wear? So this is it. I have basically purchased every single one of these off the internet because they are discontinued. So if you can find them, this is what I wear. And I always trim the ends of them, kind of like just a tiny bit off, because I don't like to drag out my eye so much. I want it to lift up, you know? So I will cut off the little piece at the end. To put on my eyelashes, I like to use the House of Lashes lash glue. And if you want your eyelashes to stay, I like to use the same glue and then just dab it right at where the corners of the lashes will be. So a little bit at the front like this, and then a little bit at the end. And this will give it that extra attachment strength for your lashes to stay on. And then when placing my lashes, I just kind of like look at the mirror and then look up a tiny bit, and then I just place it as close as I can to the lash line at the front, and then on the tail I kind of lift it up a little bit just to give it that lifted effect to the eye. There you go. Alright, now let's get into the hair. I just washed my hair yesterday and I put her in pin curls this morning just so then she will be ready for today's look. I used to be a hairstylist, so I would get all the bundles and the frontals and everything myself and sew them together. And then afterwards, now that I found out about custom hairline, ventilation hairlines, but I still love to style and curl and cut. I think it's very relaxing for me to do. So the hairstylist in me still feels very happy whenever I get to do it. Today we're just gonna glue it down using our good old Got2b. I like to just do the middle first. And we as gay people, like I said, get to choose our own hairline. Sometimes I like to move it up, sometimes I like to move it down. Blow dryer again, on cool. Afterwards, I like to take the Redken Oil Mist Anti-Static. I either spray on the hair or on the brush itself. And then I just kind of comb through the hair, make sure everything is nice and brushed out. All right, that's the hair. Let me go put on my outfit and I'll be right back. Ta-da! The hair is giving very Victoria's Secret 2000 with a light bang. And then the makeup is very angel. So yeah, this is the fantasy that we're going for today. I hope you guys enjoy. I had so much fun recreating this look for you guys. I love you and I'll see you next time. And if you recreate, let me know and tag me so I can look at them. Mwah! Bye!